And it's tough too, because a handful, 5 or 6 episodes ago, however long it was, we spent an entire episode convincing one guy from the Xindi group that maybe he shouldn't put the bullets in this giant gun. Like, we spent the whole episode trying to convince this guy maybe this is the wrong thing to do. And in this one, it's like, I'm a time traveler. He's a time traveler. well, that changes everything. We hadn't considered time travel as being a fact. Put the council together so we can completely destroy our entire culture because this guy handed us a coin
and
that he said is from the future.
I like it's the real flimsiness of when there's no emotional core to your story. There's some real I always think about our conversation about the DS9 episode where the Dominion is coming through the wormhole and they have a debate about to shut down the wormhole. Basically, they have some like techno babble about this is how we're going to do it. But the core of the scene is, do you destroy this very important connector between two distances and like this very important network that will allow things to explore the universe better? Here, so Archer gets this coin thing, and they bring back this.
Is that a Obsidian Slammer from the Pog series, the Xindi Pog series?
It's pre-weight regulation rules, so this is obviously from the year 2752.
I got this from your ancestor 400 years in the future. He was using it at recess, and he was destroying everybody else in Pogs at recess.
They bring up that quantum dating thing again. They're like, this quantum dating tells you that something's from the future because the numbers on this device are negative, and that means it's from the future. And then in this one, so already you're like, all right, like that's some bullshit techno babble that I'm just going to buy into. But then Degra goes, well, quantum dating isn't always reliable. And I go, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, then what are we even doing here then?
Why did you bring it up? It's a flimsiness of writing when there's nothing there to distract me.
Yeah, it's like when people go, well, it's called the theory of evolution, Wes.
Theory of gravity.
Hasn't been proven.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird because they do hopscotch that stuff really quickly, and obviously they haven't. They're breaking this up over 2 episodes at least before they really kind of start turning things, but like. I think the thing that saves it is since we have met Degra before and they do give him a little bit of time here to kind of let us inside his head as far as where his sympathies lie or at least where his reservations lie about all this kind of stuff. I think that goes a long way to help it, but it still does kind of feel really rushed where it's like, he doesn't know who Archer is. Archer's yelling at him saying he's a time traveler.
Yeah.
There's no real reason why he should be swayed to pull the stop lever on their entire society just based on what Archer's telling them.
No, yeah, it's more that they've
like especially. Well, I was just gonna say, especially like if Archer had gone to them in peace, that says so much more than if you caught it. Imagine if you caught a guy robbing your house, and you're like, "Hey, you're robbing my house," and he's like, "Well, actually, I'm a time traveler,
right.
So I need you to help me rob next door because the future of your life and the world depends on it."
Yeah, It's true. It's almost more like the Enterprise lucked into finding Degra, who is the one Xindi that is convincible with very little rationale behind the convincing. Like, he's the one who's so torn about what he's doing that the minute Archer shows up with his future coin, he's like, well, I now have some reason to abandon this plot that we're doing here. It's really... I think it's funny that I haven't really realized, and I won't harp on it too much longer. But it's just there's no reason to care about that scene. I was just thinking while I was watching the scene where Degra and Archer are talking. Imagine if these guys had known each other in some real sense.
Right.
And this was the scene where Archer could finally get through to this guy. And it's not a scene of remember me and Degra going, who the hell are you? And he's going, to me, you told me about your unborn child and on this planet. He's like, I haven't told anybody about these things. It's just it's so weak.
Telling me intimate secrets about my family is not the best way to convince me you're not some sort of spy or have your worst intentions here.
Having an affair with my wife or something would be my go-to. I'd be like, how do you know all this stuff? How do you know about my wife?